And a very good Monday evening to you. I'm FOX54 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Dressman. It was a hot afternoon across the Tennessee Valley. It was a hot weekend across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures this afternoon climbed into the mid-90s across the area. I actually think we ended up seeing 96 degrees at the Huntsville International Airport. Otherwise, 93 was the high in Scottsboro, 94 in Fayetteville. We saw 95 in Decatur. We saw 95 this afternoon over in Florence. This marks the fourth consecutive day where we have seen a high temperature of at least 90 degrees. It's been a while since we did that. I believe the last time we did that, got to go all the way back to September 21st, the 22nd, the 23rd, and the 24th of 2024, which is why I've been talking about over the last couple of days that I think this heat's going to come as a bit of a shock to a couple of folks. Now, as we progress further and further into the summer, I think this is going to become more of a normal thing, and we'll all get used to it. But I think it hit a couple of folks as a bit of a shock as we were going through the weekend. It just kind of looks hot outside. If you look out over into DeKalb County, it's difficult to find much in the way of any cloud cover. We're looking at plenty of sunshine. Yeah, it just kind of looks like it is hot outside. Some folks are dealing with a little bit of cloud cover, maybe a little bit of cloud cover off in the distance here from the top of Montesano. Otherwise, look at this. I know the dew point is not 40. If the dew point was 40, that would be amazing. So that's definitely an error in the data there. Otherwise, temperature sitting in the lower 90s, right around 93 degrees. And I believe I have one more look here for you from Memorial Parkway. I always like to give you a look from Memorial Parkway. And if that'll come up, I do believe that I have a look for you from Memorial Parkway. It'll come eventually. There it is. Here we are looking from Memorial Parkway. Again, a really nice, kind of a nice blue sky. It kind of looks hazy. It's kind of that pale blue that you would anticipate that builds into the Tennessee Valley as we head into the summer. Now, at one point, you kind of see the cloud cover off in the distance. That activity is somewhat hard to come by at this point. But again, it just kind of looks like it's hot here in the city of Huntsville. And as a matter of fact, it is. At the same time, we're also talking about some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Now, a lot of this activity hanging out across northwest Alabama. East of the I-65 corridor, we are nice and dry, and it does look like we are going to stay dry through the rest of the evening. This activity probably not going to sustain itself that much longer. We'll zoom in here. We're sitting to the north of Red Bay. A couple of showers sitting back across northeast Mississippi. Some of the activity beginning to develop south of Phil Campbell, trying to see a little bit of rain. Russellville up towards Littleville, we're dry, but up towards the Shoals. Beginning to see a little bit of rain, maybe a couple of rumbles of thunder develop. This activity might continue to pop up and blossom here over the next hour, hour and a half, but then it's quickly going to begin to fade away. Over in Lawrence County, just to the south of Moulton, looks like a thunderstorm trying to develop there. We're not talking about any severe weather here over in northwest Alabama. Now, this particular storm did come with a severe thunderstorm warning a little while ago, but almost as quickly as that severe thunderstorm blossomed, it kind of collapsed in on itself and the storm weakened significantly. So no longer talking about the severe thunderstorm warning there. Like I said, this activity is going to continue to hang out. Looks like we're talking about one thunderstorm there sitting to the north of Cherokee. This activity is going to continue to hang out for the next hour, hour and a half maybe. And then it's really going to begin to dissipate and fall apart. Really, once we get to sunset. Sunset this evening is going to be at 8:04, but I would anticipate that it's going to begin to fall apart probably after 7 o'clock. Temperatures on the left, heat indices on the right, 97. That's how hot it feels in Huntsville. Air temperature of 93, 91 feels like 93 in Athens, 90 feels like 97 in Fayetteville. Now, these numbers are going to be a little bit lower over in northwest Alabama, where they've seen a little bit of rain coming in at 83, but feels like 94 right now in Russellville. 83 feels like 96 in Moulton. Over in northeast Alabama, missing a couple of the temperatures, but we do have Fort Payne, 91, feels like 92 degrees right now over in Fort Payne. Now, the heat is actually going to get worse over the next couple of days, and we'll talk about that here in just a minute. A warm night across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures only dropping into the mid-70s. I've got a low temperature right around 74 degrees. It's also going to be incredibly humid across the area. Now, for the last couple of days, the heat advisory has been in place across Lauderdale, Cobb, and Franklin counties. That's where it's been hottest. It's typically hottest over in northwest Alabama. But as we head into your Tuesday, we're talking about the heat advisory being expanded to include the entire Tennessee Valley, all of North Alabama, all of southern Middle Tennessee. And this is basically going to run continuous from 12 o'clock noon Tuesday until 7 p.m. on Wednesday. And this is, again, going to be a heat advisory that's going to be in place for all of North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. The primary concern here going to be the heat indices. Heat indices on the higher end of the spectrum could be approaching 107 or 108. Most of us are going to be talking about heat indices as we head into Tuesday afternoon, anywhere between 102 and 107. But then we could creep into the 108. We could creep up to 109. And this is a pattern that's going to stick with us, not just as we head into your Tuesday, but unfortunately, it looks like it's going to stick with us as we head into your Wednesday as well. Once again, talking about heat indices 105, 106, that's going to be somewhat consistent across the Tennessee Valley, even across northeast Alabama, where they're typically a little bit cooler than everybody else. We're going to be talking about heat indices 104, 105, 106, but then on the higher end of the spectrum, we're talking about a heat indices of 107 or 108 degrees. Now, it does look like these numbers are going to begin to back off a little bit as we head into Thursday. Heat advisory no longer going to be in place by the time we get to Thursday because these numbers are going to begin to back off a little bit. They're going to begin to fall below 105. But as we head into Thursday afternoon, it is still going to feel incredibly hot outside. It's going to feel like it's anywhere between kind of 99 to 103. So at this point, we're talking about a difference of 3 or 4 degrees. You're not going to be able to feel that. You're not going to be able to go out on Thursday and think that it feels so much cooler than it felt on Wednesday. That's just simply not going to be the case. But when it comes to issuing heat advisories, there have to be some specific boundaries there, and we're going to fall below the boundary, below the threshold as we head into your Thursday afternoon. Now, we can kind of measure the impact heat has on society. We kind of limit this in a couple of different categories: limited, minor, moderate, major, or extreme. As we head into Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to find ourselves in the major category. This level of heat affects anyone without effective cooling or adequate hydration. Impacts are going to be likely in some health systems, heat-sensitive industries, and infrastructure. Really, what does that mean over the next couple of days? It means you need to be incredibly careful. You want to make sure you stay hydrated. You want to make sure you stay cool. Once you're getting dehydrated, have to take a trip to the emergency room. I know a lot of industries work outdoors. A lot of the construction works outdoors. I know there's some things you can probably do to make that a little more tolerable. At the same time, don't forget to check the back of your car. Now is not the time of year to be putting your dog in the car and going for a ride. It doesn't matter if you're going to go into the store for just a couple of minutes. It gets incredibly hot in your car incredibly fast. For example, when the outside temperature is 90 degrees, after just 10 minutes in your car, it is 109. After 30 minutes, it's 124. After 60 minutes, it is 135 degrees inside your car. When the air temperature is 95 degrees, after just 10 minutes, it's 114 inside your car. After 30 minutes, it's 129 inside your car. And after 60 minutes, it is 140 degrees inside your car. At the same time, you also want to be mindful about the time of day that you walk your dog. In the middle of the afternoon, that's not going to cut it. These are forecast pavement temperatures as we head into the lunch hour on Tuesday. Pavement temperatures anywhere between 130 to 140 degrees. That is just simply not safe on your dog's paws. You're going to want to walk them really early in the morning or really late in the evening. A good way to test this is to put your hand on the pavement. If it's too hot for your hand, it's too hot for your pet. As we head into your Wednesday, much the same. No, these numbers are going to creep up a little bit. We're talking about pavement temperatures of 135 to 145 degrees. That is incredibly hot. And then even as we head into your Thursday, not getting much of a break as far as pavement temperatures are concerned. We're still going to be talking about pavement temperatures 135 to 140 degrees. As far as air temperatures are concerned, tomorrow afternoon, we have no problems climbing into the low and mid 90s. But again, we should expect temperatures like this time of year, right? We should expect to climb into the low and mid 90s. We're getting ready to close out the month of June. We're getting ready to head into July. It's supposed to be hot, and it is going to be hot. Air temperatures as we head into your Wednesday, once again, climbing into the mid and upper 90s. And it looks like we could be talking about above average temperatures as we head into the early days of July. About a 30 to 40% chance, as a matter of fact, that we're going to be talking about above average temperatures through the early days of July. When is the best time of day to water my lawn?